Virtual Boy Wario Land is a full-fledged side-scrolling action platformer that stands out from most of the simpler and more gimmick-based lineup with its precise controls and classic level design. It offers 14 levels, with unique boss fights and even multiple endings based on how many treasures have been collected along the way. Its defining feature is the layer switching system with real-time sprite scaling, activated via jump pads that propel Wario from the foreground to the background and vice versa. Objects, enemies and bosses often move between planes too, generating interesting interactions. Various similar effects made with the Super FX 2 chip in Yoshi's Island are proof that Nintendo was really into the stuff around 1995. This concept was kinda pioneering at the time and was later adopted by several Nintendo games. For example, in Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, we find a hidden warp pipe leading to a switch in the background of Petal Meadows. And even in a very recent game like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, we get to play with Mario on a distant plane, like here, in the Piranha Plants on Parade level. Here's a very subtle detail. Sometimes, if you press any button while the elevator is rising to the next stage, Wario will make a funny face, as if he's annoyed or baffled. But how exactly does it work? After some in-game investigations, we found out that the animation can trigger only if you are moving on from the results screen to the following level after having missed a previous secret treasure. It's still weird this is a hidden interaction, but Wario's expression makes more sense now. According to an early Nintendo of America 1995 product listing, the game was originally meant to be titled Wario Cruise. The change to a more straightforward title like Virtual Boy Wario Land was somehow predicted by one of the bullet points that says it's like Wario Land has become real through the incredible sights and sounds of Virtual Boy. The document also makes mention of a multi-million-dollar national television in print support, targeting teens and young adults. Here we can see the actual American TV commercial that combines an edgy speaker, scorpions, spiders, rats and satanical laughs, meant to make it clear that Wario is serious business.
One has gone 3D, where evil runs deep and danger comes out of nowhere in the most incredible adventure ever seen on Virtual Boy. It's Wario Land, a 3D game for a 3D world.
Wait till they get a load of me!
The title Wario Cruise was still a thing so close to the console release date that it was used even on the back of the American Virtual Boy packaging. At one point, the game was even known as Wario's Treasure Hunt. We can see it listed in an Electronics Boutique catalog featured in EGM issue 76 from November 1995. Speaking of alternative titles, the Japanese version has an additional subtitle that remarks the concept of an adventurous fortune hunting, and also uses a Wario-style pun from the game backstory. Awazon no Hiho, the treasure of the Awazon, where Awazon would be Amazon with a reversed M, just like the first letter of the names Wario and Mario. Teleroboxer is an arcade first-person boxing game directed by Yoshio Sakamoto, who contributed to the genesis of the Metroid franchise and was the director and writer of the legendary Super Metroid. The similarities with Punch-Out are evident, but in Teleroboxer only the boxer's hands are represented on screen and can be controlled independently and simultaneously, taking advantage of the double D-pad on the Virtual Boy controller. This results in more complex and nuanced but slightly less intuitive controls, which include command moves like uppercuts, hooks and special machine gun attacks. The second opponent is Pokong, a heavily armored robot piloted by Big Rick. Despite the word Kong in his name and around Gorilla Tommy, his face looks more like the skull of a bear, with a protruding fanged snout. If you hit him with a body blow, he will not receive damage and will taunt you with a laugh. This is quite clearly a reference to Super Punch-Out, and more specifically to Bear Hugger, the second opponent in the minor circuit, who also mockingly laughs a little Mac when hit right in the belly. If you defeat all 7 boxers consecutively without losing a single match, you'll get to fight a mysterious legendary champ, who will reveal itself to be a fierce robotic cat. If you also defeat this final boss, you'll discover that this pilot is an actual cat called Milky. Pressing the start button during a round against the first 7 opponents generates the same pause sound effect. However, in the final match against Milky, the SFX is different, sounding more like a cat's meow. Mario's Tennis can be considered the very first installment of the long-running Super Mario Tennis spin-off series. It was directed by Masao Yamamoto, director of programming of the original Metroid for NES. The gameplay is quite essential and strictly focused on spacing and timing, still close to a game like Tennis for NES, where Mario is not playable but can be seen as the chair umpire. The following Mario Tennis episodes introduced more whimsical arcade elements like the power shots, but that's another story. After beating tournament mode on hard difficulty, the player will be rewarded with the end credits that come with a pretty catchy tune. Also, at the end of the staff roll, a cheat code will be revealed. By inserting the button sequence LLR select in the title screen, with a sound effect confirming a successful activation, the special difficulties will be unlocked. If you then manage to win a tournament on Special Hard, you get to see a nice artwork of the cast of characters posing together.